Artist-wise, I would say, yeah, around that age, it was definitely more of an Eminem kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. It was very, at that time,
And if you're into freestyling, I mean, shit, that's the GOAT, right?
at that time, MTV had like freestyle battles with like, Recognize from here, from Mayday, shout out Recognize. And it was a very cool thing. We had jams back then where people would break dance and freestyle and do shit like that. So the thing is that much like kids that, and there's a lot of kids that from a very early age, their parents put them in piano, right?
Okay.
And some of them are naturally good at it. Those kids are growing up and changing what they're into every day. The same with me, like I was always into music. I was good at music. I had a lot of people that would tell me, even from band and stuff, and put me in first chair and be like, "Oh man, you." Those things never really made me say, "I want to do this for real."
This is Rock Talk, where we document short conversations with experienced people in the Rockwell ecosystem. We are here at One Rock Group HQ today, and we are with Chillin Williams, a producer and DJ, a record label owner. And not just any record label, one of the fastest growing labels in performing catalogs. No stranger to the music industry, writing and recording since the age of 15, with writing credits for names such as Pitbull, Fat Joe, Rick Ross, and a few more. A dad, a friend, and in all honesty, somebody that has always been a stand-up guy with me, which is rare to find. We have a lot to discuss, we're going to jump right into it. We met mid-2000s.
I want to say.
Yeah. Early 2000s, mid-2000s. Always been involved with music, as far as I remember you. Hasn't always been the same genre of music.
Sure.
But it's always been music related. How did music come into your life? What is, how does this passion begin?
Yeah, in general, man, that's like a far back question, but to sum it up, always was that little kid beating on stuff and making, music out of anything. At a very early age, my family put me in guitar classes, 5-6 years old.
Does your family play instruments?
My dad's side of the family does, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, all bands and all different instruments, songwriters and stuff. And by middle school, I was a total band nerd already, jumping into the band and playing trombone and drums and shit.
You look like a trombone guy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
I've gotten that a lot. Yeah. That's why I picked it up, actually.
I figured.
And then high school, same thing until, you get to a little bit to like senior year or junior year, and you get tired of marching in band and shit in the parking lot. So from that point, it was more freelance, and that's when we started, rapping.
Okay, so rap was the first, obviously not music experience, right, with the band, but was it the first genre where you kind of were able to explore as an artist on your own?
Yeah. Rap was definitely that vehicle that made me say, oh shit, this is something I can do for real.
Okay.
This is something I can compete in at a real level. It was in high school in LaSalle, and we were freestyling with Gabby Q, shout out Gabby, and it was like, man, why don't you do this with me, man? There's a talent show coming up. Come on, man. Let's rap. Let's make an original. And I was like, fuck it, let's try it. And man, it was a great time. Obviously, we got hella love, and me and Gabby clicked a lot, and we started writing records. And that was kind of our first stab at like, hey, can we do this for real?
Why rap? Like, I know that was what was in at that time, right? But was there something about it that made it enjoyable for you?
So to be brutally honest, now it's been long enough and I can be real about it.
Of course, now you know.
Yeah, at that time and before that time, I had been involved in everything, right? I had done, like I said, everything from jazz bands to rock bands to, playing all sorts of instruments. And I always had a love for rap. I always listened to rap. I always broke down rap bars as like a, kind of like structurally and pattern-wise and musically, and said, man, this is really dope. And then when I started trying to kind of freestyle and make bars and stuff, I was like, man, I kind of have like a natural ability to do this.
Sure.
And then that turned into.
It's not as easy as it looks, for sure.
It's not. There's a lot of measurement behind what sounds random, and then that turned into, hey, I feel like I can kind of do this better than some people that are doing this,
Okay.
And then that kind of motivated me to keep going. We got our first little rap project off the ground that did decent. And from that point, it turned into mostly like songwriting and
And
doing
you
shit for
say
others.
rapping, so I'm going to assume you were behind the mic, not behind the board at
No
that
board,
time?
no board,
Not
no
producing
production,
music,
no
nothing.
engineering, no.
Okay.
Just
So just dabbling with the art of music and kind of getting yourself familiar with the different facets of
we
it.
got signed really early on.
Who was the producer?
At that time it was Drop. Drop is
Oh, shit. Okay.
you know Drop,
Yeah, of course.
super established Miami producer engineer. Shout out Drop. He was the first one that gave us a shot, and he was like, "Yo, you know, you guys have something special. You know, put a few years of studio time on the arm.
Nice.
Got us connected with pretty much everybody from the
Was that the
credits you
first
mentioned.
building in downtown?
That was the first OG building in downtown.
That was our first office in downtown,
in front of
too.
the arena.
Yeah.
8th floor, then 9th floor.
We were on the 7th floor. Chicle and then we're on the 9th floor. And the 8th. No, we were on the 8th
Chicle.
floor. Yeah, 802.
Yeah, man.
8 or 7, you would know. Shit, where were you at?
We were on 8, and then we were on 9. 8 was the one that had Cedric and these people.
The little one room that you had.
Yeah, the corner little
That's
one
8?
room. That's 8.
Yeah, so we were on 802.
And then we went to 9.
Yeah, 9th was legit. Those studios
9th
were
was
like
legit.
wood finish, like tremendo flooring. We were
And then they kicked everybody out.
Yeah, we were on the 8th floor. They were like, yeah, whatever, rent it to whoever's got it.
Eventually they gentrified, and it was all lawyers and shit.
Yeah. When we moved out, Life in Color moved in, and I'm like, oh, I get it. You're renting by the floor, not by the studio. All right, so started in rap, behind the mic. What was the transition after that?
So
Or were there any other genres that you dabbled in after that? Between that and, you know, now, which is more of a house music
just
project?
a lot of behind the scenes songwriting stuff.
Okay.
We were doing a lot of cool off the wall rap, melodic rap stuff
Okay.
that was very, you know, R&B influence, harmonies and stacks and shit. Right, you know, before it was getting
For
popular.
somebody that's in your shoes in LaSalle right now, and they're like, man, I've always played an instrument. I like it. I'm not going the traditional like band route, right? I kind of want to be more freestyle or freelance type of artist,
Sure.
right? Make my own shit. What exactly do you mean by writing? Like, what is writing?
So writing essentially means, and writing can be anything, right? Because people will write a piano part for a song.
Okay.
People will write lyrics for a song.
That's what I was assuming,
Very obviously,
but I figured there
that's
was
what
more.
people will think about most. But when I reference writing, I reference, yes, actually writing lyrics, but also writing music as well. You know,
Okay.
coming up with lines or just entire
Hooks and things of that nature.
Sure, or even just little pieces or beats entirely.
Okay.
You know, so writing music as opposed to performing music.
Got it.
Right.
Got
So
it,
there's the
got it.
performance side and there's the writing side.
Got it. And today more than ever, right? But since back then, that's been a thing, right? There's always been
Sure.
the ghostwriter, and like the guy singing it normally isn't always the person that wrote it, and it's kind of a whole team
Mostly it's
effort.
not. Mostly
Got it.
it's not. Especially in popular music.
Got it.
And a common misconception is the ghost writer. A ghost writer means somebody that gets paid to be quiet and disappear. Most of the music industry doesn't work that way. Take your favorite song and go on Spotify and just press credits, and you'll see the 6 names of who helped Kendrick Lamar write
Got
that
it.
song, or Taylor Swift, or whoever. Taylor Swift's bad example. She writes a lot, but you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah, they come in and execute,
So
but the
they're
whole
not-
team is the one putting the project together. Per
Sure.
se.
They're not ghost writers, they're writers. They get their credits, they get their royalties, they get their shine, you know, for people that care to look at it. So that is what makes the game go round. Very rare to find a self-sustained project that does everything by themselves, you know?
Well, and if they do everything by themselves, how long can they do it for, right?
Sure.
Or how big can they actually get
And
before
have
they
the time
are able to do
sure,
it themselves?
Of course.
All right, so then I don't want to backtrack, but I do want to tie that point into like Pitbull, Rick Ross, Fat Joe. How does that come about? And even more importantly, how'd that go? How's that experience for you, right? How
Sure.
old were you? What was the intake on your part? And, you know, just kind of walk us through the emotions and feelings that it gave you.
Yeah, so at that time, it's a strange time in a transitional phase of my life, and pretty much anybody who's followed the same shoes of an artist who turns into a writer. You
Okay.
kind of have to battle with that understanding of, you know, in front of the scenes, behind the scenes.
You're not the artist in
You're
this
not the
situation.
artist anymore. You're still putting your heart and soul into these creations, and then, you know, kind of handing them off and hoping that somebody even wants them,
Got
right?
it.
Which is the more humbling part. It's like,
Right,
you're
when
like,
they
yo, this
don't.
is so fire, and it's like it's a total flop, you know. So at that point in my life, those things more than anything kind of start validating me as a creator and writer, and saying, okay, so I'm making things that established artists want, you know. And Pitt was the first one who really, our group, the group that we were doing, our artist group, we happened to break up like right at the point of you know, shining, releasing our debut project with Jim Johnson. Shout out Jim Johnson, another absolute legend. And so we break up right before that, and a lot of people around the scene at that point are like, man, these guys write cool shit. You know,
Okay.
if they're not going to be artists, they're writing really creative, original tunes. Let's kind of see what we can pick up that
See how
way.
they could contribute.
Sure. So Pitt was the first one that gave us a shot and put us on his Revolution album, the album that popped them off with you know, his big hit singles, Hotel and all of that. And you know, more than anything, it starts kind of making you feel like, okay, so maybe I was built to do this. You know, maybe this is a good lane for me, and it kind of validates your experience and your journey. And obviously, like anything else in life, that kind of motivates you to do more in that and say, oh shit, if I can land one with Pitt, why don't we shoot for you know, I know. Yeah, sure.
Right.
You know, and I've done a ton of records that never came out for Enrique Iglesias and big artists that even cut records of mine, and you know, they just don't come out, which is another battle. You know, when you write a record, it's number one, hope that somebody likes it enough to give it a chance. And once they give it a chance and they say they like it, hope that they get around to actually recording it in the studio, which is a whole nother battle.
And once they record it,
Once
that they actually
record
like it enough to put it out, right?
To put it out, right?
Got it.
Which is, man, maybe 5% of the records they record come out.
Got it.
Somebody like Beyonce records 200 songs, you know?
And you're hoping that that one they release is yours.
So chasing that that entire game is a lot of cat and mouse. It's a lot of, you know, sure, once you land a few and you're hot for the moment, a lot of people want to work with you, but it's still countless hours of, let's call it wasted work. Sure, a song that you wrote for Rihanna, somebody else might take, but it still sounds like a Rihanna song. You know, and you hear those on the radio all the time. You know, that's never been my stuff. I like writing what I like. I like writing what I'm in the mood to write. And it works sometimes, but it's definitely not a very sustainable approach to modern day songwriting. You know,
it was more of a step along the journey, but not something that would essentially turn into its own journey because it's not sustainable, you know, enough.
Maybe it could have, right? Because I have a lot of homies that I started with that are very successful songwriters that stuck to that, and they are, you know, world-class songwriters.
Nice.
You know, and I'm very proud of them. You know, and they were able to fill those shoes. My experience with it, like I said, is I wasn't really wanting to chase a specific project. I want to make dope music. If it happens to fit for this guy's project, you know, if it happens to fit for somebody, even the things with like with Ross and Joe and these records and the stuff I did with Mauricio for his project that was with all three of them, those records weren't written for them. It's not like we approached it and said, hey, I want to write a Rick Ross record. We made a dope record, a dope hook, you know, and put it out in our shop kind of blast local circle.
Little network.
Gets around to the right person. Hey, Ross is shopping or Pitt shopping or whatever, and then it gets picked up. Kind of works that way. Whereas other people say, Pitt is shopping for his album, let's make 30 Pitbull records.
Specifically for him, yeah.
And if he doesn't pick them, we got 30 Pitbull records.
Right.
You know? Maybe somebody will take it, but sure. So that whole journey was humbling. It was cool. I learned a lot. I met a lot of cool people, man. I got so many hours behind the mic and in the studio in general.
And that's the most important part. You got the practice, but not just the practice in like a playoff game.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like you're not making some shit in your bedroom that you don't really know anybody's gonna hear. You're making something knowing Rick Ross is gonna hear it tomorrow.
You're walking to a place that you're turning on the lights and you know it costs money to turn those lights on, and you know that, you know, you're in the big boy league at this point. And sure, that does something for your experience altogether.
It's fulfilling 1,000%. It makes you wanna show up to practice.
Yep.
Right? It makes you have the chance of winning the finals. So like let's practice an hour longer. 100%.
Right? And you see your peers in that circle bringing home these trophies.
Yeah.
And making these milestones, and you're like, oh shit, this is real. You know, everybody's winning, we're doing this, and it's a cool thing. Not only that, it kind of inherently puts you in a zone where now you're a little bit more aware of and in tune with the behind the scenes. So the engineering,
the understanding of it.
Sure. You're sitting a lot more there, you know. Kind of, I wanted to sound a little bit more like this because now you kind of disconnect as the artist, and you're like, I don't really have to be like, I don't have to be that cool no more.
Right. Or protective of it.
Yeah, this isn't me character. This is this guy character. And this guy takes way more risk than me. So, when you're writing, when you're doing stuff, and you start wanting to be a little bit more involved in behind the scenes, and then that graduated into me saying, hey, why don't I start taking a stab at this a little bit more myself, and maybe producing, and maybe, you know, everything from sitting down with the mouse in my hand.
I always try to like point out that the more references you have, the more detailed your painting can be.
Sure.
Right? And let's say your painting is your life journey. So if you at 16 want to be something, don't only work on that. Work on everything that surrounds that in the network, right? Like meaning, if you want to play basketball, learn how the basketballs get made. Learn what the right PSI of air in the ball is.
Yeah.
Learn why the hoop is the height that
Live
it
it,
is.
love
Like,
it, yeah.
live,
Absolutely.
love, and because
Absolutely.
then you'll really understand it versus want to do something you think you want to do. I can, attest from my own life in the examples, right? Where I want to do something, and then the most important part is you start doing it, because then you have little reference points, and then you're like, oh, actually, what I really want to do is this.
And you find it along the way every time, sure.
And every once in a while, you're in that no outlet where you're like, damn, I don't want to do this at all. Fuck, rip Band-Aid, start over, right? Back to the main
Which is
street.
also a super beneficial experience,
1000%.
Saying,
Anything
hey,
in
I
life
don't have
is
to think about this what if anymore. That shit sucks.
cut the bandwidth, this shit's out. But I learned XYZ, ABC, and I'm going to apply these into this new thing that I'm doing now. And I think it's important to not just stay in your lane, right? Like explore the whole pool.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you were wanting to be Michael Phelps, like great that you every day practicing a new lane, so that when that race comes, it doesn't matter what lane they give you, it feels like second nature to you, right? Like you're aware, you have the knowledge.
And then you can practice. There's always a gem you take from every angle of the game you're in.
Always. Whether it's something you're doing by yourself, or something of like you just experienced being in the room and watching, like you with that engineer that you didn't know, but now you heard a sound you've never heard before, and you're like that.
Yeah.
Now you can kind of fuck with that sound and come up with a new sound that you even like even more, but because you had the reference.
Sure, and because you gave it a little time. Even a dumb example, like showing up to the show early and meeting the lighting guy and the engineering guy and having a little bit of understanding of all that's going on there,
Absolutely. And speaking
There's
of
always little
references,
gems.
I wanted to ask originally, but you were onto something. You had your dad's side. Outside of that, were there any early references? Little Jesse was like, damn, dog, that guy right there is the guy, right?
That's that
like,
shit.
That's that shit. Like, I do what I do today because I heard this shit 20 years ago. Like what is that thing that made the light switch turn on where you're like, I'm gonna try to do this for real? Because you didn't wake up one day and like, oh, I don't know anything about music. I'm on the band, and now I'm just gonna start rapping. You obviously had to be in the rap music. Like you had to
I was always into rap music, right?
The
thing is that much like kids that, and there's a lot of kids that from a very early age, their parents put them in piano, right?
Okay.
And some of them are naturally good at it.
Sure.
They're better than others.
Some are atrocious.
Some are horrible, but they still, they do their thing. You go to the recital and fucking watch it anyway. But what I'm getting at is that those kids are growing up and changing what they're into every day, right?
Okay.
And throughout that, a lot of times they haven't gotten into music. They do music because it was taught to them and they're good. And even the piano, oh my God, she has a natural gift. And the girl's like, I don't fuck about this. I like gymnastics.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
It's like getting tennis lessons when you're little and you don't care about tennis.
No, you're good. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Right.
So I think that the same with me, like I was always into music. I was good at music. I had a lot of people that would tell me, even from band and stuff, and put me in first chair and be like, oh man, and those things never really made me say, I want to do this for real.
Okay.
Right? After years of doing music and having grown-ups and people tell me, hey, you have a natural gift and all this stuff.
It was still just a after-school activity for you.
It's an extra hobby of yours. So you're like, sure, I like it, I'm good, but I'd rather go play football. I'd rather do this, right? So that if you're asking that turning point, it's kind of what I told you. It was the whole little mix of the freestyling thing and having my friends like literally like the movies, like battles would be going on in high school.
But was there any references where like you saw what was it, B2K or whatever, the movie,
like,
the rap movie?
8 Mile.
No, 8 Mile for sure is one, but no.
I'll tell you, 8 Mile is probably 50% of why I took. Yeah, I saw that movie. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
At one point, I knew every word of all his freestyles in the movie. Like, I'm still standing here screaming, "Fuck the free world." But was there a movie? Was there a rapper? Was it like watching Flavor Flav growing up? Like, was there like somebody that you were like, man, I idolize that, what he's doing or she's doing? Like, that's talent. Like,
artist-wise, I would say, yeah, around that age, it was definitely more of an Eminem kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. It was very, at that time.
And if you're into freestyling, I mean, shit, that's the GOAT, right?
At that time, MTV had like freestyle battles with like, Recognize from here, from Mayday, shout out Recognize. And it was a very cool thing. We had jams back then where people would break dance and freestyle and do shit like that. So I think Eminem was the GOAT at that time. Musically, it was always, more of the R&B stuff, the Michael Jackson.
So more the vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
For
Funk
sure.
and disco, shit like that.
And that would make sense with today's sound.
Sure.
As far as that. And before we get into today, I wanted to ask, because we didn't touch into it on the story so far, where does DJing play a part? You haven't touched a turntable yet up until this point. You've touched
I have, believe it or not.
A soundboard, an audio board, maybe a...
I have messing around.
Okay.
Throughout this entire journey of my life, there's been a lot of opportunities where I've been collecting music. I walk around with a book of CDs.
Okay.
And,
I still have mine from the car.
I still have it. They're dusty and scratchy, and a lot of them have a Sharpie that
all
wore
burned.
off.
Yes,
right?
All burned.
And I used to walk around with that. I had a lot of...
1742, and you're like...
Remember how long it used to take to download one fucking song?
Oh my... How many viruses
you would
you
sit there like, bro, 97, 98, and then somebody would call your house, and you're like, no, fuck, eat it. So yeah, I would always walk around with the shit.
Call your house.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone.
Your mom picks up.
It's for your sister. You're like,
fuck you, man. I was trying to download La Bouche, Be My Lover. Fuck.
I hope the call's important. My bad to cut you
And if
off.
you remember correctly, the OG Napster, it's not like you started at 98. That shit failed and you had to start back at
facts.
0.
And you had to download 2 or 3 of them to make sure you got one that sounded good. Because you didn't know who Pioneer 76458, user was.
Sometimes it would be the crazy alien bit rate.
Terrible. You think you're still logging in to 56K and it's your song.
Holy smokes.
So you're DJing, you're playing around with equipment, but
people had all sorts of stuff. So I had no idea what I was doing. I would press play, put the volume up, press play, put the volume up, and just the art of introducing people to the music I thought was cool. I was always into. I was always into sharing.
You weren't into DJing. You were into like song curation. You wanted to show people good music, but it wasn't about how you played it. It was more about playing it.
I really gave absolutely zero effort to understanding anything that had to do with real DJing.
Gotcha.
Not to downplay it. I obviously love DJing and I respect the fuck out of it.
Sure, but it was a form of playing music.
At that time, it was more like, hey, I get to play these songs that we love and get rowdy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Hell yeah.
And I had a few opportunities throughout my life to do that where I was like, man, this is really, really cool. I really enjoy this.
How did that transition happen into Chillin Williams today then?
How did it happen? So, as I told you, that race of writing records, recording records, it got old for a long time, but I continued doing, and I still write records. I still try to dabble and keep fresh in, in doing different types of music. But I want to say around, 2017, 2018 is when the shift in music, or at least the more urban music that I was into writing.
And when you say shift to Jesse or shift overall?
Shift in popular urban music.
Got it.
And the decline of R&B related things. There's no more Neos, there's no more Jay Holidays, there's no more, singing kind of R&B-ish. Other than the Drakes and whatever, it starts getting a little weird for me, for my taste, right? And I say, man, I really would hate to keep chasing something that on top of that now I don't even really enjoy. Right?
You don't like the chase, and then when you let's say you do get the kill, it's like I don't even want to worry about it.
Like making this music doesn't make me happy at this point, right? So I say, man, I start kind of internalizing like, how long can I do this? What's the next play? And a homie of mine has a rap label that he's doing at the time, and he comes out with a record. Mind you, one part of the story that we've left out until now, very important, gang. Is throughout this entire time, even when I first got signed as a kid doing these rap battles and stuff, I was very, very into dance music.
Okay.
From the Daft Punks to, the first time we got flown out to New York, the Justice album had first come out. Whoever knows about the Justice original album, Cross. And I'm at the Virgin store with headphones on in Times Square.
Was it a tablet?
It was like a listening station. There was no tablets.
No, it wasn't, right?
No,
but like, how is it that you knew what that?
Because there was a poll with like 6 options, and you would press the button.
So the button was connected to that option,
and then you had next, and then it would load the player.
I remember doing that in Sunset Place.
Yeah,
but I don't remember what it was that I was pressing.
And that album came out, and I'm like. and I'm there with my squad, and they're like, "Yo, we got the next stop," and I'm like, "I get, just go.
I'll
Like
see you there.
I'm here," and I was fucking obsessed. And I caught Daft Punk at Bang Festival in Miami. I don't even remember what year that was. 06. My dog knows. This is 06, you know? And at this time, at least our demographic, our friend group, our people that we're from, that music is referred to as like, you know, deaky music, or like, yo, who does
That's
that,
not for
you
me.
know? So throughout all this time that I'm making actual splashes in the music industry, right, with established people, I'm constantly that annoying guy that's like, yo, why don't we try a little remix, you know, a little dance remix, you know? And just constantly getting fucking matumboed and shit, like, hey, not at all.
No.
Not at all. And cool, you know, I eat it. And then what happens, you know, towards this time where, like I said, now I'm a grown up, I'm established. God bless, I have, you know, for lack of better words, I have my shit together. I've put out, you know, enough stuff and made enough relationships where I can kind of make a few decisions at least, right? And not feel so stressed and say, hey, I want to start doing things because I want to do them. God bless.
And I'm able to.
I'm able to, you know. So I say, hey, if I was able to do whatever I want, and I just remove every pressure in the world of what you're supposed to do or what you've got your accolades in, what would you do? And it's like, man, I would do house music. It's what I love. It's what, you know, if I have free time and I want to enjoy music and consume music as a consumer.
That's what it would be.
Which is at this point in my life is very rare for me to be able to get into the consumer ear, right? Everything's the production ear. Oh, this hi-hat, is it? That was the one place that I felt safe being a consumer.
When you say like, when you hear someone else's music, when I hear a song, I hear the song.
Sure.
But you're hearing the layers of the song.
It's a thing that's very hard to turn off.
I can't go to a restaurant anymore.
There you go.
The minute I walk in, I'm like, air vents haven't been changed, fucking this,
the industries, the industries that you're in and that you really put time into exposing the layers of, it starts getting hard to put yourself back in the average consumer seat, right? And say, let me act like I was a new person that just walked in here and never, you know, because you're still very overly critical. So
my first experience in this said thing.
Sure.
Right.
So that's what I found with dance music, house music. That's what I found when I was able to go to, you know, all ages events at Space back in those days.
Yep. June, heaven.
You know, right? And I wouldn't miss one. I wouldn't miss one because I was like, hey, this is my opportunity to experience this thing. And it wasn't cool back then. It wasn't like, especially not for kids our age, right?
The house room was always the side room.
Yep.
The small, deserted, fuck it, let's open it up.
Absolutely.
So we can book those 3 promoter DJs that are going to bring
It was loud and it sounded fucking phenomenal. And Oscar G was in there going ham, you know? But it was something that I said, hey, this is what I truly love. So if I have the opportunity to say, what am I doing now, right? Eliminate the need to make money, eliminate the need to succeed and place these records with bigger artists. What do I want to do? Man, in a perfect world, I would make these house tunes, right? So I start dabbling. I had always dabbled. I mean, I had always made really shitty.
Really bad.
Really bad.
But it's okay because you're the only one that heard them.
I was the only one that heard them, and you know, a couple of the close homies that are still around now. Shout out Edwin. And then at this time, I said, okay, so I know music. I know how to like. Why don't I just do what I love? And I started really putting some time and effort into learning how to produce, make, and replicate the type of house music that I enjoy.
Okay.
Right. And that's when, like I said, a homie of mine who had his own label going on said, "Hey, why don't we make
We're gonna get into that. Before we get into that, what would you say that sound is? How do you define your current sound?
My current sound?
Yeah.
It's always been influenced by the same thing, man. Sexy.
Okay.
You know, like groovy, sexy, disco influence.
Okay.
When people would still want to look nice and smell nice and feel good. Nothing against, you know, the crazy raves, because I'm a raver too, you know. I get sweaty.
Yeah.
But the inviting.
Show him your sweat nap. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. I got a sweat nap soon.
Right here, dude. What do you want? I don't know. You fucking threw it away already? No, you blew it.
I'm good. But I think, my common thread has been, you know, something that makes you want to dance more than fist pump, right?
Okay.
Or like dance more than like head bob and stuff, right? Something that kind of picks you
Something
up.
groovier.
And something absolutely
Something
groovy.
more swingy.
Swingy.
You want to swing a little. You don't want to.
You said it, and you don't even produce. But
Correct.
swing is a production term.
Oh no, fuck! I just made that up.
No, it absolutely is.
I was thinking of the shoulders. You know, I didn't get a swirling was gonna be my first.
No.
Weird,
You killed it.
Swing.
Swing is the type of grooves that we're into. Swingy grooves. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you go from. What was your rap name?
Had a few of them.
Okay.
The OG one was Callister.
Callister.
MC Callister.
Yes, I remember that was your screen name.
And let me give it.
I remember this.
Real friends.
I remember this.
Real friends.
That was your AIM screen name, right?
You know how I got that name?
I have not heard the name.
I'm gonna give you a very quick backstory. We probably won't use this. Cut it out. But quick backstory. We're in the park. This is probably like 7th grade, 8th grade. It's summer. We're in McDonald's Park in Hialeah.
Okay.
H-Town by Old Stomping Grounds. We're breakdancing in the park, eating shit. This little kid, he's like a 6th grader. You know, at that time, 6th grade and 8th grade, don't you fucking dare look at me the wrong way, right? I bust a move, whatever, nothing special. I wasn't great. I wasn't a good breakdancer. And the little kid tries me. He's like, bro, you suck, whatever, right? And my friends are like, oh, legit. And I'm like, what's up, nerd? Shut up, whatever, right? Whatever I tell him, and he goes, obviously, can't ever forget, he goes, shut up, dick face McAllister.
Oh.
No explanation, no backstory, no context. In fact, we didn't even ask. Nobody asked.
It was just too good.
They fried me so hard. You know when somebody tries you with a ridiculously stupid joke,
Facts,
but you don't have time to be like, what is that? Because everybody's dying laughing. And you're like, but what does that mean?
I don't have a comeback because I don't know what you meant.
Doggy. Little kid walks away unscathed.
Nice.
The next 2 years of my life,
you're McAllister.
I'm Dickface McAllister.
Yes.
So when it's time to pick the rap name, I'm McAllister.
You dropped the dick face.
I dropped the dick face, obviously.
We're still using this.
We have to. And now I'm just McAllister, which is MC Callister.
And it's cool too, McAllister, but it's MC.
MC Callister.
You're MC.
And then eventually it was Callister, and then it was just Cali.
Okay.
Shout out to that little kid, wherever the fuck you are, little freak show from McDonald's Park. Hey, whoever that kid is, you birthed a legend, my boy.
Yeah.
You birthed a legend.
Big face himself.
And then, so that was that whole time with DMG and that group and being signed by Drop and all that stuff. I'm Cali.
DMG, that's right. That's what DMG, I was trying to reference in my head because it wasn't the Red Cup era that you were talking about.
No, the Red Cup era is the very brief solo era after.
Yeah.
Where Mike,
DMG,
Mike, who's Pitt's manager, picked me up as a songwriter / artist for a brief point of time.
Makes sense.
You know?
That was cool. All right,
they wanted me to put out weird music.
What was the last rap name?
Last rap name was...
I also remember that. God damn it.
Cut that one out.
So we go from Jesse in band, loving music, family influence, passion to it without really knowing why, and you continue to dabble, get familiar with the industry, dive deeper in it every day. You go from Jesse Band Guy to Dickface McAllister to how do you go from a guy playing the trombone, was it? Mm-hmm. To owning a record label in the tiki genre.
The tiki genre is a good way to connect the
full circle.
Dots, yeah.
How does this occur, right? Like, how does a blessing like this come about? Is it something that you went and got? Is it something that was presented to you and you were like, what a great idea? You know, talk me kind of through that process.
It was a very core grassroots original approach to the music industry in general, which is something that I think is very unique to the dance music space.
Because they're not kind of following that traditional pattern.
It still exists, right? It still exists. So it was literally, hey, I'm starting at zero. None of the relationships I've made or know throughout the last 10 years of my life have anything to do with the industry that I'm trying to break into.
Gotcha.
So when
you are starting literally over.
We're starting at zero. So
with knowledge.
With knowledge of, production and how the industry should work.
Sure.
Right? And what I think the industry is, and then I break into a game that has absolutely zero connection or correlation to that.
Or rules for
Yeah.
that matter. Yeah.
Man, to be honest, the label really started as a necessity to say, hey, I have now made these tunes and I really like them and I want the world to hear them and I want to release them.
Gotcha.
And
So it was
how
a
do I do
necessity.
this? How do I do this? Right?
Okay.
I don't know any labels in this world. I don't want to do the DistroKid self-release. Nothing against that. Hey, super power to everybody releasing on the independent distros and DistroKid and all that stuff. But at least in this world, what I had seen, right, consuming this music again as a fan and as a consumer, was that, man, these songs all release on some kind of label.
Right. If it doesn't, there's a reason why it didn't.
There's no independent, guy. I mean, I'm sure there is. And
Sure.
Bandcamp and all this stuff got popular later, but for the most part, this world is run by labels, most of which are smaller independent labels. Nothing fancy, but it is somebody who said, hey, I take this serious enough to establish an entity.
Sure.
and release music, right?
And with that entity is the sound, the vision, the
Yep,
branding.
it's like a brand
everything.
of that kind of sound. And that's kind of what you count on when you're shopping for music in this genre. So I said, man, where would I start as a nobody in this game with no connects, making music that, I'm going to be honest, I'm making music for me. I don't even know if they want, right? So
Yeah, it hasn't been tested yet.
So how do I make how do I distribute my music on these platforms myself? And that was a ton of research. A good homie of mine, David Zafra, who's...
Oh, no shit.
You know Zafra. Another OG. He had been in the game. He had a label that he had started for a while. And more than that, he had a lot of experience with the industry players in this space. And he's the one that put me on and kind of taught me, like, hey, this is how you get, your own independent label off the ground through the official distributors that'll get you on Beatport and the kind of stuff that you're looking for. So it started as an outlet to get specifically my music out, right?
It's a straight necessity. Like,
Straight necessity.
This is for me.
Yep. And obviously, now that we're going to present it in this box and platter, I want it to look cool, right? I want it to look like
it's a reflection of you,
Sure.
like directly in this case, because of the necessity of it.
Can't be Bozo Records with no logo either. So I said, hey, let's put some work into kind of figuring out how we're gonna do this. My partner Jody at the time, like I said, he was doing some rap stuff and saw especially during COVID around that time, saw the crazy growth of this industry and said, hey, this is where it's at, and kind of decided to join forces with me. But it was just that. It was just, hey, how do I get this out to the world in a way that looks official? And then we kind of, made something that we said, hey, let's make this look like some of the other guys.
Oh, yeah.
Let's blend in with what's going on so people give our music a chance.
Label starts in 2020.
Label starts in 2020. We got to get these records out. Don't know how.
Today, one of the fastest growing labels.
Sure.
Catalog has grown.
Yeah.
Artists wanting to be part of the project has grown.
God bless. Yep.
How have you been able to accomplish this? Not how have you done it, but what have been some of the things that allow you to do it?
Man, I think the obvious things that people don't want to hear,
Okay.
right?
Work hard.
Is that we've been working hard and we've
Fuck.
sent a shitload of emails and we've been at events till 5 a.m. for 4 years and all these things that I think it's obvious, right? Be there, show up, do your thing, right? I think from somebody who has, from this talk, we can establish that I've been stabbing at this for a long time, right?
Sure.
And I can tell you that my bigger success in music, both satisfying myself, both monetarily,
Okay.
both just in general reach and establishment, this has been my bigger success, right?
Nice.
It's dope.
It's dope, really, when you put into comparison even some of these huge names that you were part of
Sure.
these projects, something
Sure.
like this that's been more organic, more you, has resonated more with
Something
you.
that I've been holding back from tackling this whole time,
Sure.
due to outside elements saying, hey, that's not really the move, to do that and then let it actually make some kind of existing thing that actually feeds and grows and is self-sustainable and you're like, wow, wait a minute, all these years I've been chasing something like this that I can throw more fuel on.
Yeah.
So how, again, other than the obvious stuff, I think that the fact that we went into something that, or I went into something that I understand how it breathes. I enjoy, I consume, I respect, right? Because I went into this with a lot of respect. I went into this saying, hey, I know this is one of the more pure music subgenres and formats that exist, right? And one of the examples I always like to give is what type of genre or industry today, modern day, you go out and bring a group of, let's say a group of girls, your significant other, your girl, and some of her friends. You say, let's go somewhere. We're going out here tonight. No, I've never been there. Who's DJing? Don't worry about it, right? You go to one of these places, by song 2, 3, 4, if these people you're with don't recognize any of these songs, what happens?
Yeah, often.
This place sucks.
You're right.
Can they play some this? Can they play some that? Right? That's common anywhere. You play at a rock bar, dive bar on the beach, and it's 5 minutes before somebody comes up and they're like, hey, can you play some old school rock? Right? So what world is left where people get dressed up, they go out, and they say, I'm here to experience new tunes. You put me on, DJ. You
do your job.
I want to, in fact.
Which is crazy, full circle, right? Because that's why you started DJing in the first place, was to play good music.
And not have people be like, but I want to hear this. No. If people hear 1, 2, 3 songs throughout the night that they recognize, they feel like fucking movie stars in our game. Right?
Gotcha.
Like, I know that one.
Yeah, the thrill isn't listening to the song you know the lyrics to. The thrill is finding the song that you like that you've never heard of.
Sure.
And as a consumer, that's a little more sustainable because you're not just going out to hear the 4 songs you want to hear.
You're not playing the top 40. When you say top 40, how many DJs are in the world? How many DJs are in the States? How many DJs are in these metropolitan big areas that we live in that you go out to fucking insert here club and you're hearing the same shit? Cool. Right. There's nothing wrong with that. People like that familiarity, right?
Right. But in this industry,
you still get to expose people to new music, which is such a unique thing nowadays, right?
Okay.
So that's kind of how.
So you'd say House of Humans allows you to do this in scale, maybe a little more than just you as an artist, right? Because you have a lot of music coming out that you didn't necessarily make, but is being released now under this organism, this thing.
Well, that's what happened, right? And very, very proud of my circle and my people, because us doing this and getting it off the ground kind of just like any other thing, kind of started a fire with the close people around us who said, wait a minute.
Motivation.
Sure, wait a minute. So now if Jesse has a platform to do this, maybe we have a platform to do this, right? And now they start waking up and saying, but I love this kind of music too. And I'm like, good, now we have a home. So now the homies around start waking up and saying, I'm a DJ, I'm an artist, let's start releasing this music, right? And we grow, and they're great at it. And we grow from a home for me to self-release my own music because I have no other way, to now we're a group of our own friends who share the same vision and goal and also want an outlet, right? So now we go from 1 artist to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 artists. Right? And what happens from there, now we need to throw a little party. We need to throw a little release.
Now we need to showcase a little bit of these 6, 7 people.
And it starts growing into a community, and everybody motivates each other. And fast forward a year or 2 later, now we have 8 or 9, I'm sorry, for the first year, probably 8 or 9 top 10 records on Beatport.
Fire.
Going from 0, and we're like, wait a minute, this is for real. This isn't a pipe dream with me and the homies,
Yeah, the hobby.
The hobby.
It's not the hobby. This is turning into a thing, and it's actually resonating with people that you don't even know.
People are purchasing the music.
Random question: what areas of the world would you say you're getting most plays from?
I think Europe is obvious, right? We get a lot of plays from Europe. We get a lot of plays from Spain. Undoubtedly, we still get, I'd say half of our plays come from local love or U.S. related love, the New Yorks, the LAs, our homies in the States, which we look at as kind of like direct love, right? We look at like, we've been to these places, we know people here, and it feels great that they want to listen to our stuff.
Yeah, almost a real relationship and connection with it versus people in Spain are just gravitating to the product, but here
Exactly.
they're gravitating to the people behind the product, the whole overall product, the brand.
You always wonder, you know, as an artist, you're your hardest critic, you know, and you always
Right.
wonder, I'm popping off in New York. Yeah, it's because I know a lot of people in New York.
Right.
But when you wake up and you check your stats and you see that in Egypt,
Yeah.
I just like to I just want a groove record, which is a random record I released on SoundCloud. And you wake up and you got like 10,000 overnight plays in Egypt with a bunch of comments, and you're like,
Crazy.
who the fuck in Egypt
How did it
must
get
have
there?
posted my shit?
Exactly. How did it
And
get
happened to
exposed
resonate with those kinds of people in that time, you know, that
to get the
they
traction?
must have shared it in their own thing. And that, you know, is super cool, bro. It just, every day it makes you start back at zero and say, oh, I'm learning about my audience. I'm learning
And
about
if
who
I'm
likes
able
my
to do
stuff.
that, I'm able to do this.
Sure.
And now this new door, this new hallway gets released, right?
100%.
The new level in the game.
100%.
You're almost at Bowser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey.
Hey. All right, so we always talk about the things that have come out of great things,
Sure.
like House of Humans and all the great music that has come from it. The platform that has allowed great artists to have a home, like you mentioned. I've seen it firsthand. The family that you've built in this home, where
Yeah.
you all really genuinely support each other and not even just each other, but the movement that you're all choosing to be a part of, right?
Absolutely.
And I love these type of stories and communication, because I think it's very important to know why you're working towards something and what is actually possible. There's a Jesse out there that's like, man, I would really love to have a collective of like-minded people that enjoy a similar sound, and maybe we can work on a project together. And how fun does that sound?
Yeah.
But now it's a way to kind of say, not only would that be cool, but it's also attainable. Because look
Sure.
at this guy, you know, and he was able to do it, and now I'm able to do it. Fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's awesome. I hope we help one person out there per show
Absolutely.
with that vision or model, you know, this
Yeah.
just the desire
fuel,
to
motivation,
do it and
yeah,
go fucking do it.
Of course.
However, I am fascinated, right? Because technically, since kindergarten, I've been in business, right? Whether it was selling my grandmother's chicken tenders or, you know, booking DJs or anything in between.
Grandma's chicken tenders sound fire, by
Super
the way.
fire.
It's a
You
side
have
topic.
no idea, bro. If she was
Okay.
still here, I'd be making a killing.
Shit.
But I know if there's 7 days in a week, 8 days normally go like ass in this beginning process of it.
Yeah.
It is not all good.
Absolutely.
It's never first day's great.
Absolutely.
It's never third day's even better.
Yeah.
It's first day's okay. Third day's way worse, because there's two fires that I have no idea how
And
to
by
put out.
by day 10 or day 14,
By day 10,
you're like,
I'm
why
a
am I doing
certified
this shit?
fireman, and I didn't sign up for this shit, and I'm actually gonna go work somewhere and have a peaceful life.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what I want to get to, and what I think, you know, little Tommy out there can really...
Shout out little Tommy.
Little
That's actually
Tommy.
the homie. Yeah.
Yeah, he's and not the one from
Shout out
Rugrats.
little TT.
Fucking, what are some of these lessons? What has Chillin Williams learned along the way that now help him? And it can be as irrelevant and small as this and this happened between me and someone and I learned this, or it can be as big and macro as I figured out quickly I don't know how to do math and we shouldn't be invoicing people. Like, what are these lessons that allow you to continue to advance
It's
in the path you're taking?
Man, in a way, it's so annoying, bro, and it's so cliche to say the things, and I'll try to say them in a different way,
Sure.
right? Because what's frustrating is not that people say the same thing. What's
Okay.
frustrating is that people say, once they finally get there, they say, "Holy shit, everybody said the same thing. Why didn't I just listen?"
Why didn't I just
Right?
listen? Right.
You're like, yeah, just follow your dreams, man, right? Of course, no shit. Just work hard, no shit. The way I would put it in a practical sense is that it's right there. Like, what you think is over here is right there. And most people just don't take that first open door step, right? Because with that first open door step of, I need to release my music, right? Just a regular practical problem. I want to release my music. That makes you say, well, how do I release my music? And then you're on Google for 2 fucking hours. The
Yeah.
way you would be looking up a stupid video.
And
that does
today's
nothing.
day and age, it might be 20 minutes, but it was 40 hours 10
Sure.
years ago. Yeah.
And calling places that are based in England, and you're like, fuck, what time is it? Oh, no wonder they don't answer. And then writing an email.
That's a lesson, right?
Sure.
Damn, I should call people in England when they're awake.
You should figure out what the time zones are,
Yes.
right? But even that's a great example. Day one of landing nowhere, I already learned, can't call England at this time. I learned most of the distributors for our genre are in the UK, right? Already. So by day two, I know 10 times more than the guy who's starting on day one before me, right?
Gotcha. Because of the first layer of foundation you had with McAllister and all the experiences before.
From day one of literally Googling and learning these things about how do you get your music on these platforms.
Gotcha.
Right? Which distributors do take newcomers versus having to, actually establish yourself, right?
Gotcha. Because you had the necessity of figuring all that out for you as an artist, not for you, the record label.
Not for a record label, just as an artist. But what I get at is that day you go to sleep, and if you really have that shit in your heart, and you're like, bro, I want to do this. That day you go to sleep, and you're almost excited. You can't wait to wake up the next day because you're like, bro, now at least I know these guys are open at my time 8. I can call them, and then once I can call them, now they're gonna explain to me what I have to do.
Now I'll figure out what I'm gonna ask them the right way.
And now from I have no idea what to do to I'm opening up an LLC so I can establish my label. It's been a week and a half, right? Mm-hmm. And just like anything else in life, man, once you manifest these things into something tangible and you're sitting at the bank and you're signing a thing with your record label name, $0, doesn't matter. Now you're like, oh, this is real. This is real. You're almost giving yourself the credibility. Absolutely. And you've learned, again, you're still 1% of the way, but that 1% feels like 50 when you knew nothing. Right. You knew nothing. You go to sleep a little bit more satisfied and you say, man, time to get it tomorrow. You feel like you're halfway to the finish line because you don't really know where the finish line is. Sure. But in your head, you did so much. That's actually a great way to fucking You feel like you're there because of how much you've accomplished. And then you get the lesson of every time you think you're on the 50, just remember there's a bigger field out there. Sure. Right? Because the bigger and the more you want to grow in this industry, the more you'll unravel a layer. You put it 100%. But by that point, you look back and you're too far. Right. To even realize that the goal has moved. I'm already here. Yeah. I'm in the game. Yeah, Yeah. And you're somewhere you never dreamed of when you were sitting before you opened up the first Google tab. That's really all it takes, bro. It's look at where we are today. So biggest lesson you would say, it's right there. Get out of your head. Not in the sense of, in the cliche, just get up and do it, one foot in front of another. No, it's that it's closer than you think. It's closer than you think. Yeah. Or at least for you to feel like you are now doing that thing, it's way closer than you think. It's not 1,000 light years away. For people to connect with House of Humans, there's producers out there. You were describing a sound and they were like, holy shit, that's what I make. That's what I do, yeah. How can they connect with House of Humans or with you, in regards to House of Humans? Connect as far as demos go, we use TrackStack pretty much primarily. Okay. TrackStack is a platform, most of you guys will be familiar with it, where you send your demos to labels. You can find us on TrackStack. You can send us a DM on IG. Okay, House of Humans? House of Humans on IG, yep. HUEMANS. Fire. All right, so we'll transition from record label business to music business. And before I do that, because I feel like we're gonna get, unpack a few things here, I wanted to ask, the Chillin Williams project, when did that start? The Chillin Williams project started around the time that I started the label. To go ahead and distribute my music. 2020-ish. Yep. Maybe the idea of it was a little before that, and then we brought to life. Where did that name come from? It's funny you ask. So when I first started remixing and producing music enough to say, hey, I need to release this. Okay. Right? And where you liked it good, it was good enough. It was good enough to say, hey, I want to make this for real, right? Then you have to think, hey, I need a name, which I was just going to use my real name, whatever. And in that, a lot of parties, a lot of underground stuff is going on. COVID is starting, right? Clubs are closed, doing pop-up stuff. And I'm organizing. This is the first time that I'm becoming a real DJ, right? I'm organizing crates and playlists and shit. And I'm always, you know me, bro. I come up with the dumbest names for everything. Right. Your slang terms are unmatchable. I'm the E40 of the East, they call me. Yeah. Undefeated champ. Undefeated champ of the slang. So I'm naming my playlist, you know, super quirky shit how I am.
Sure.
Right. So the high energy stuff, I'm naming like big boys.
Okay.
Right.
Heat for the feet.
Heat for the feet. You know, the in between, I'm literally naming in between dads.
Okay.
And then the openers, like the groovy shit, I'm labeling Chillin Williams.
Okay.
Like saying, oh, this is where we chill and we
Yeah,
get
yeah, yeah, that's the
sexy and
groovy shit.
we drink and we talk, right? And then through these first 6 months of my DJ career, I realized how often I'm in the Chillin Williams folder.
Because that's the one you like the most.
Just love it. That's where I see crowd love. That's where I see the people that maybe weren't into house be like, ooh, move,
Okay.
right? Like this is where I find my identity. And literally that playlist that I named Fucking Around, like as in chillin' music.
Sure.
Chillin
It
Williams.
resonated with you as your personal
I'm
brand.
like, this is a dope fucking name.
This
I should just own this shit as my shit. I'm always in this folder anyway. And that's what happened, bro.
And now it went from a folder to this is Chillin Williams library.
It was time to release our first release, right? Which was me, Andrew Bonilla.
Okay.
You know Bonilla.
Coco FM.
OG Bonilla, shout out Bonilla. Original partner in House of Humans, actually.
Okay.
One of the motivators who was already, you know, deep in the house music game at that point, you know.
Mm-hmm. He's the reason we all got kicked out of our first office.
Really?
Yeah, Coco FM was blasting music out of there.
Shout out to
24
Coco
hours a day.
FM. Shout out to Taberna. What is it?
Yeah.
Taberna Juancho. Yeah, he was one of the first ones that was close enough to us already in the game, who I pitched him this idea, and I'm like, what do you think? And he's like,
thumbs up.
He's like, I'm down, let's get down.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, if I got Andrew's approval, then this shit has to be for real.
Okay.
Because he was OG at that point.
How does so I'm not the biggest tiki guy, in case no one's told you over the last 25 years of knowing each other.
Sure.
However,
now you are, baby.
I do now I'm fucking all in it, bro. No, I do know a banger when I hear a banger, right? Regardless of a genre. And Disco Party Baby was a fucking bang.
Absolute
right?
trailblazer.
Released 2023, 2024, early 24,
yeah,
late
23,
23,
early
whatever
23,
it was.
I think, yeah.
Briefly, so we could jump right into the music talk right from the segue. Talk to me about like that project. What was so unique about it that gave it the traction and the respect that it got, but naturally that it
I think
deserved.
this is a good example of the things we're talking about, because being in the game, being around people in the game, anybody watching who's in the game, we know how much we put into not only a song, a release, a rollout,
and all the shit that no one sees.
All the shit no one sees, to hope that your song can get more ears, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes you see an artist pop out of nowhere, and it seemingly is like, man, they didn't do shit.
Right.
It just fucking grew legs and popped off. Right.
They got lucky.
And the industry heads close to that will tell you that's not true. That's just, you don't see all the work. I'm here to tell you. Good music is good music. We put out a project with 3 songs. First of all, to backtrack a little bit, our label is a collective of our friends, right? Mm-hmm. Unlike most labels who search, every corner of the earth for talented people, which, bro, we get demos from everywhere in the world, and God bless. Thank you to everybody that sends demos to House of Humans. We're super humbled that everybody wants to release on our shit. We just don't have the manpower to go through everything right now. And not only that, we really enjoy releasing tunes from people that we can shake hands with in real life and consider friends, and that's kind of how we've built this.
Well, at the end of the day, that it adds on to the community that exists, and it's how to make the community bigger.
Especially, a local place like us that has the super high starlight and then a bunch of hungry people that are super talented trying to get it. So Vampire Sex are some of our fucking best friends, Nick London and Refro. Very, very, very talented homies. And they put out a debut project on our album called Not Love at First Bite. The one before that.
Love at First Bite is a phenomenal name for Vampire Sex.
Vampire Sex.
Shit.
That was actually the second project, because I was supposed to be like the real like LP, let's call it, even though we called it an EP. The EP was Looking Pretty. Okay. Looking Pretty was the first tester we put out, which did well. the sound was very unique from the beginning. I like to describe it as like an OG Miami tech, right? It's kind of like the stuff I would listen to Oscar G play
Sure.
in the downstairs room back in the day. Resonated with me. Not only that, it was the homies. I was like, man, this is a special kind of music. We put out the first one, did good. Love at First Bite comes around. It's a 3-project EP. We got a Rosalia remix called Estilo.
Okay.
We got Jack, That's Jack, which is a super heater as well, just a tech banger. And we had a third song called Disco Party Baby. Doesn't sound like the first two. So when we first get this EP, we say, and I'm being brutally honest, this is the first time we're putting this out to the world. We get the EP and we say, we don't know about Disco Party Baby. Doesn't really fit the EP.
It's different.
It's different,
Sure.
Right? Remember, we release homie music. We're not some snobs up at a high office that are like, cut this, no feelings involved. These are our homies. They believe in this record. Let's run it. Right? Let's run it.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. So we do our stuff. We always do our promo. We do our rollout. We have our email blasts. We do photo shoots. We do video shoots. We do all this stuff. And starts picking up steam. We're like, hey, this release is doing pretty good. You know, Spotify's up to probably 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 spins. Like, this is cool. It's making some noise. It's another one of our notches. And then we have an event. We're at Eagle Room. We have an event at Eagle Room, Miami Beach. And I'm there, and my homie goes, look, right? And
is it broken?
yeah, it's loud as fuck. It's loud, right? And I can't even see what's going on. And he shows me a video, and it's Jamie Jones in I forgot what festival in England. Insert video of Jamie Jones right here. It's Jamie Jones playing, and my boy goes, look, it's House of Humans.
Send us that video.
And I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro. And I can't hear, and he's like, and I'm talking about massive, it looks like fucking Woodstock. And it's Jamie Jones. If you know house music, you know Jamie Jones is the dad.
You know that he's headlining.
And I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro. Don't fuck with me right now. I've had a few drinks. It's loud. So I'm there in the club with the fucking phone to my ear.
Sure.
Like,
trying to hear one familiar stem of the song.
And it's Disco Party Baby. And I look and it's Jamie Jones fucking vibing. And I'm like, what the fuck, right? And that moment in and of itself is like the moment, you know, where House of Humans becomes a real player in the game. And I'm like, oh shit.
A recognizable player.
Shit's about to move.
Yes.
Right? Shit's about to move.
Did the other two songs on the EP matter?
They make noise.
They make noise.
They make noise. And they bring home a nice check, and they, you know, they're really good things on the catalog. I'd say they're definitely, the other two are top 10 on our catalog as well.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right? They're great songs. They don't do what Disco Party does. But you can tell that the people that consume Disco Party enough, they're like, I like this artist enough that I want to see what else they have. And that's why these records have also made noise, right?
Gotcha.
So that happens, and I mean, if you follow that game, you know what happens after Jamie Jones plays your shit and posts your shit on his story and his page. You know that now every DJ in the world is like, oh, I need that song.
Right.
Brother, within weeks, it's, I mean, you name it, the biggest artists in the world, Martinez Brothers, Local Dice, Marco Carolla, like the top players in the game, not only playing this, because as a DJ, you get support, or as a producer, you get support for a record, and it's like Local Dice downloaded your song. Now let me spend the next 3 months stalking every
see when
post.
He plays it. Right.
But then, instead, you see not only them, but all the like house pages posting a story of Marco Carolla, and it's your song, and your label song. You're like, oh, is this really happening, bro? And it's spreading like wildfire, and 1,001 track list going fucking crazy, and the Spotify going up to 1 million. And then the checks come in and shit, and you're like, wait a minute, bro, what the
This
fuck?
works.
So what am I getting
The
at?
machine's on.
What am I getting at to connect the dots is that in years of all these rollouts, planning and marketing, and eso que lo otro, right? It's undeniable. And the proof is from this record to humble the shit out of me and bitch slap me and say, hey, good music is good music.
That's really what
The
matters.
right time, the right place. You release a song, you get it to a couple of people. You don't have to force feed this shit down everybody's throat.
I think that's important.
It's a hot record. It's gonna grow legs. Either today, tomorrow, next year. That record was out for almost a year before Jamie Jones played it. It's not like it came out in the next month. Went on fire.
That's important to point out, right? A success
That
overnight.
record was out for almost a year. and we're pushing and we're doing these things and the other records are catching more fire, and then that happens. And
Yeah, atomic bomb vibes.
you know,
That's
and now what happens now house music, more people want to release on it, and now we've become this thing that people say, wow, they can do that with that song, they can do that with my song.
Yes, right? Yes.
So super cool, man. The moral of the story is, you know, if you
it's right there.
It's right there. It's right there. Right there.
It's a perfect wording for it. I'm not like laughing at it. I'm laughing at
No.
how simple and stupid it is and how accurate it is, right?
And
like,
it motivates you. And it's true.
Knowing that it's right there would get you through the terrible todays, and you start remembering that you have the great tomorrows to look
100%.
forward to. And sometimes when you're in the muck, that's like very easy to forget. So on that topic of good music, I want to take a few minutes before we wrap things up and talk about music industry in general.
Okay.
This could be specifically to, you know, the house music world that you're in today, or it can kind of be a blanket statement, or you could maybe combine the blanket statement and apply it into the house music world. However you see fit, I want to just talk about the music business. In your opinion, what are some challenges that it's facing today's day and age, right? Because it's not the same environment it was when we were growing up. And just like when we were growing up, you know, my dad, LimeWire, what, right? Like that's not how he got music, right? So this has been an evolving, like any other industry, but I feel like this industry in particular has really evolved in a quick sense. What are some challenges that brings?
I think the obvious challenge, right, from a macro is just saturation in general, right?
Okay.
It was a point in time, or most of the point in time of music creation was the amount of artists that exist or the amount of artists that fit on the shelves in the record store.
Gotcha.
It just is what it is, right? There's nowhere else to consume music. Record labels.
There wasn't at-home studios.
There was no.
So it was only as many people that could work out of this spot. That kind of got my thought process going when you were saying that.
Record labels were very selective on who they had time to bring into their studios and record and cut and press a physical copy of and distribute.
The amount of work that would go behind
and go on these things, right? So in one sense, you would say, hey, much harder to tap into that very select few. Now we all have the opportunity, but now the value of music has gone down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because just like printing more currency in an inflation example, not to get too deep, music has lost its value a little bit, right? Because
you're printing more music.
The consumption is fucking 1 minute songs 1,000 times a day, or even worse, 5-second clips.
Yeah, 1 million times a day.
1 million times a day, right? So the value has gone down. So the necessity to make something that both happens to fit into the consumer's appetite, right? At the time.
And attention level too. So I think that plays a piece to it.
Is timing that, right? Is timing what is the consumer, what is his brain stopping scrolling for today? It's just such a fucking overload of stuff that
it's a mind fuck to see how you stand out now, not how you get out.
How many incredible singers have you come across in the last 12 months on your phone just scroll, right? To the point where you are desensitized to incredible singers, kind of.
It's almost a given now. If you're posting a video of singing, it's because you're incredible. And there's you're
desensitized to that. For somebody to fucking wow you, take your breath away as a singer, it has to be some next level, right? So it's not going to be some next level shit. It's time to get creative. It's time to get innovative and find a way in to stop you from scrolling for a second. And that's what's tough. I think that is the obvious.
That's a major challenge.
That's the toughest part.
What's the solution to that?
We go back to the same question, right? The person who has thrown 1,000 darts at the wall and only hit a couple will tell you, let's train more on how we throw the darts. Let's be more strategic on hitting the target, right? And let's work on crafting this and shaping this. And then the person who has had success without doing that tells you, hey,
shoot as many darts as you can.
No, tells you, hey, maybe it's not up to you. Maybe it's not up to you. Maybe it's up to you to make good shit that you believe in, you know, and stop trying to force feed people so much. There's a balance, of course. They both have their benefits. But from somebody who has recently struck something with my family and my squad that, you know, kind of burst the bubble on all that strategy, it's really like, hey, make good shit, do what you love, you know, put the music out, have a good team that obviously supports and does what it does. But stop trying to chase what you think is gonna work, man. Stop trying to chase what you think is gonna work.
Just do what you want to do, and then find a way for that to work.
50 records that we put out thinking this is what works.
This is it.
And then one that we say, I don't think this works.
With the speed that things are evolving in today's day and age, not music, fucking everything, right?
Sure.
What's the music industry look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Where are we heading as an industry, as a business?
Optimistically, I would say that the music industry is becoming more of a peer-to-peer kind of industry.
Okay.
Right. I think the obvious is that, hey, no more control over what gets distributed. The labels don't decide who gets to release music or who you listen to on Spotify. You can listen to your neighbor on Spotify who put some shit up yesterday. I think that there's going to be more of that understanding that maybe with all the technology and everything from blockchain to self-distribution, that there's a world that we evolve into where it says, hey, I am an open product for my fans or consumers to consume without somebody in between trying to take a cut for imaginary things that don't exist anymore. We don't need studios anymore. We don't need necessarily marketing budgets anymore because we have the ability to market to who we want. You know what I mean?
And know how to get to them.
And know how to get to them.
Kind of figure out, you know, a whole lot of strategy.
It's that, man, these algorithmic things.
And people are looking for it, right? That's where I was going. I just wasn't saying it as
these
as
algorithmic
technical.
things, as much as we hate them, and sometimes, they're shadow banning me. No, they're giving the people what they like and what they consume.
Right.
And
it just happens that it's not you at the moment, but
if you're putting out
some
exactly. I see random people living their normal life every day on IG, great, getting a crazy following, being themselves, right? You can't stop it. IG doesn't want to stop it because the more people that are watching what they want, they get to feed content and show ads and all that shit.
I was gonna say, fuck the content. They get to feed ads.
So that's already peer-to-peer, right? That's already IG and these platforms being unbiased and saying, what do you want to watch? If I give you what you want to watch, I get to sell you more ads.
Does Spotify do that?
Spotify, to my understanding, is still very curated. I still have
Pandora.
You have Pandora?
I know, it's crazy.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah, it does. It's $5.99 a month.
To do what?
To just put someone's station on and then you just hear music.
It's just stations, right?
Yeah. So like if I put Young Jeezy radio, I know I'm gonna get, you know, early 2000s hip hop.
They have that on Power 96 and shit. They have that.
I'm not a DJ, bro.
So that doesn't cost $5.99.
If I had to like list you 10 song names, I might fall short.
Really?
So like for me to make a playlist would be like
also you
impossible.
Need to be put on. But Spotify is really good.
Pandora, you know, is essentially like an algorithm.
I haven't even heard anyone say that name.
It's crazy. But like I hit like on shit and then I hear more shit that sounds like what I hit like.
And then it puts you on, yeah.
And I don't think Spotify does that.
It does.
Yeah? But can I hear Spotify without it being a playlist?
Or even more, go to a song that you love right now and then click the thing and go to radio of that song. And it puts you a radio station based on that song, just like Pandora does.
Got it. Okay, was Spotify always like that? The one time I played around with Spotify, I was still in FIU because I think you get a college discount, right? Or some shit. There was like a student discount or something. Yeah. That's the last time I fooled around with Spotify. I literally log on. It was all blank.
And then now it's up to...
blank library. And I'm like, what? How do I listen to shit?
Now it's up to $9.99.
I tell Paul to send me shit on Dropbox.
Now it's up to $9.99, $11.99 with my promo code Chillin Williams on Spotify. Can we sign that thing for the Spotify endorsement?
Yeah, real quick. Yeah. Let me ask you, because you do know about music in general, not just this type of music. And so I want to get that value out of you. What are some of the uniqueness of EDM versus other genres when it comes to the music business, right? The industry behind the sound. I don't see John Summit and Jay-Z as comparable, even though they're both superstars of their genres.
You're right.
But I feel like the industry behind them is slightly or greatly different. What are some of those differences, and like what is unique about the EDM world that the other worlds aren't?
I think, which I've more or less had versions of this topic that I've touched on with you. I think that the uniqueness of the EDM game, industry wise, is that it's a fresh opportunity to either follow the same music industry path professionally or reinvent, right?
Okay.
Meaning it's still the Wild West. The music industry for the EDM scene right now, if you're in the scene or you're even around it, you know that there's insane shit going on all the time. There's unlicensed, cleared vocals and samples that just go on to become hit records and make people's entire careers, you know, things that don't exist in the pop game.
Is it because it's more regulated? Is it because it's more controlled?
It's because it's not regulated. It's because these underground raves and festivals are not the same as a televised iHeartRadio event, right? They're still,
Or
as
a
much as they're
radio
growing and they're making a
station
shitload of money, they're still a little bit under the radar. Our whole industry is, right? And that goes from an artist approach, a label approach, a management approach. It's still very pure, right?
Okay.
So I think the difference is the uniqueness that it's still, in a sense, the Wild West. It's still.
And you say that's a plus.
I think that's a plus because it's nothing but opportunity. It hasn't been written yet, right? While
You get to
other
write
things
the
have
story.
been written, and now it went from regular contract to a 360 deal to we don't even sign people unless they have 1 million streams, whatever. These house labels, they sign nobodies every day, all day. That's how the game goes around. When I say nobody, I mean talented people that don't have.
Yeah, they haven't
a
gotten the
following
exposure yet.
right? And with that comes the lack of structure, which is a beautiful thing too, right? Because it's just more
On the
of
artistic side.
on the
But on the
artistic
business
side.
side, I'll jump out of my window, dude.
On the
That
business
drives me
side,
nuts.
it is the absolute Wild West.
Yeah.
There are not, artists don't sign album deals. They sign single deals with different labels across the world. It's just an unheard of concept.
It's crazy because
It's an unheard of concept.
you're cross-promoting other people's product, right? By me, the artist getting bigger, everybody that I have a product on is getting value out of that exchange. So anybody
then
that helps me grow is helping all of them grow.
That helps you come back to the obvious point, which is, oh shit, so maybe this music is not about the business side, which is not. But undoubtedly.
Which is why it's still pure.
Which is why it's still pure. But while it's still pure, undoubtedly, look around and look at all the people making millions and millions of dollars on this scene, right? Because it's undoubtedly growing like crazy. So just because nobody's put a perimeter around it and said let's organize
Lassoed
this,
it up.
doesn't mean that it's not a consumerism market just like anything else. This is no longer people going to $5 raves illegally. This is people paying $500 to get a VIP at a fucking festival.
Right. $500, cuidado. 375 grand at Ultra.
Cuidado. You know what I'm saying?
Table.
You know what I'm saying?
That's our crib pre-COVID.
There's somebody there laughing at everybody.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to you guys. No,
Whoever it is, shout out to y'all.
But what I'm saying is, this is still a little loose. It's not the same as, ¿cómo se llama? Ticketmaster and the other cats.
Live Nation.
Live Nation. It hasn't gotten to that point where the Martinez brothers are signing a Live Nation contract, you know, for a year for these organized events and shows with.
If we're in the
Wild
middle
West.
looking at both sides, does it show opportunity for the EDM world to become structured and grasped? Do you feel like that's something that's inevitable and it's going to come? Or do you think that this is so different than other music businesses that we might not ever get there here because of the vastness of it?
It depends how far it goes, right? When you commercialize something too much,
then it's bound to happen.
It's bound to happen. Right?
Now we're talking about corporate money, sponsor money, blah, blah, blah.
When rap first started, and rap was a subgenre, right? People would meet up on the street and the block party, and people would pop up a DJ set, and just to hear somebody rap, the block is going crazy.
Sure.
You tell me now who's gonna show up to a side street pop-up DJ shit to hear somebody rap?
Right.
Nobody.
No, nobody.
Right? So I think the uniqueness here is the ability to craft where this is going and say, hey, this is either going to follow the same footsteps of the higher ups that are going to buy and control this industry and pick who's famous and pick who comes out and pick these things, or we're going to find a unique way, which I think is a peer-to-peer future, right? Which happens, in my opinion, to be blockchain related, and we'll go deeper on that on the next episode. But I think it's more of a peer-to-peer kind of thing where it's like, let people consume the music they want, cut the middleman out significantly, right? And
If we're looking at that question the other way, do you think the hip hop game, and I know it's not exactly the same, but let's say like the Latin world, which is a lot less regulated than the hip hop world, but let's just say they were the same. Do you think there's a world where that starts going backwards and becomes more peer to peer, and the big labels out there picking the next Jay-Z's kind of get outvoted by the consumer?
I think that if we look at the trajectory of dance music and its popularity, right, from pre-COVID to now, right, and we look at it, it's like this. Anybody can say it's like this.
Right.
The average place in Ohio is playing remixes of Dua Lipa right now on a
100%.
Friday night, right?
I've been doing open format bookings for 15 plus years. Every time someone says I need an open format DJ, they are referring to Top 40, a little Pitbull, a little hip hop, a little Latin, pon ahí dos o tres canciones de Diggy
Lately
Diggy.
it's different, right?
Now Top 40 is I want 60% dance, play one or two hip hop songs, and throw some Latin in there because we're in Miami,
There you go.
which is insane because that's how venues are describing open formats to me now.
There you go.
So it's to, just to put a bow on what you're saying,
Yeah.
on the accuracy of it.
Yeah.
And again, the regular manager at the venue is a consumer on Tuesday nights when he's off, right? Like this is not
And they see that too,
And
and they know
that's how
what's
they're
popping. They know what
describing
their
it.
friends and the girls want to listen to.
1,000.
So if we look at the trajectory of this genre, this sound, this industry, when compared to other types of music, pop has always been doing what it's doing.
Right.
Rap undoubtedly has not been, performing the way it used to.
Why? That's where my question stemmed from, right?
It sucks.
Has the monopoly chosen the wrong artist to come, and now the consumer's like, yo, I'm off this. I don't care about his green hair and fucking yelling into the TV.
It's
Like,
possible.
like,
It's possible that people just
does that
want
give the full circle now for the opportunity for McAllister to come out? Maybe not you, but I'm saying like,
Yeah,
where
I get
now
what you mean.
I would go like no different than, bro, I don't want to hear the corporate EDM shit, right? Like Avicii's whack now, it's too mainstream, right? Like that sound, the big
So
room
maybe-
house, right?
maybe.
Like,
What I'm
do we
getting-
go back to the dunks with the you're rapping in a street and like, yo, shit, I met Pitbull before he was Pitbull, right? Like half of Miami can say that, right? He was in Coral Park rapping every day, like
So everybody has a pit story.
yeah. Who has I don't know, insert, Lil Durk story, like.
Sure.
These are people that are just coming out of the windworks, and then you're being
I think it
exposed
can
to.
get there. Hopefully it can get there, right? Optimistically projecting what I hope happens. The path that dance music is on is at such a rapid rate, right? The growth is at such a rapid rate that who knows, it could take over just like it did in Europe. It could take over as our main version of pop music very soon, right? Where it's just
I feel like it did here
it's
once
kind of-
before, right?
it's-
2010, 2013.
the LMFAO
era.
days and all of that, yeah, and Black Eyed Peas and shit. It's kind of getting there now on a more, more standardized level where it's not just that corny rap pop kind of stuff. It's actual dance music, and if that continues to happen and it takes over, then it could rewrite the mold, right? It could say, wait a minute, now this makes more money than all the shit that you guys tried to put together.
Yes.
And if that's the case,
Your
then it's-
machine's broken.
your machine's broken, and this new machine is people putting out single deals and buying them on Beatport and one song.
Well, as the artist, why the hell would I want to be part of the machine now?
So if dance music takes the control that way, which I predict is already happening, and dance music is not part of this club of
Elites.
traditional elite
Sure.
record label exec fuckery, then what happens? The opportunity is very unique to say, we can write this how we want. We can make the new version of a label and start signing artists for albums. Oh, consumers don't want that no more. Okay, so what's the new version of that? Peer-to-peer, blockchain for sales, for streams, cut out the middleman. The future's here, bro, And I feel like to connect it, back in the day forever when you would watch movies and they would predict the future, it was people in these weird suits and listening to like, right?
We're here.
We're kind of here, in a more tasteful way, thank God.
Yeah.
But we're kind of here. So I think that is the main difference, is that we have on one side the volume of consumers that are saying, we're gravitating. This is a light in the middle of the night with bugs, with
Yeah, it's attracting
they're
it all.
attracting absolutely every consumer, even the people that didn't like it. They're like, I guess I can get down with a Bad Bunny remix. And then it bites you, and you're like, man, this is fun, So what the rest of the industry has to be watching that and saying, we either need to find a way in to infiltrate, which goes against our entire culture from the
it's going to
root,
be very difficult for that.
thank God.
Thank God.
Or, okay, so what do we do now? There's enough here. There's enough of a community here to start setting laws. Start picking a routine
governor.
and a governor and
1,000%.
and hopefully that unique transition in history will be something that cuts out all the greedy motherfucking record execs that have control.
Greedy today, but without them, maybe the music industry doesn't get to what it's supposed to be today. And so you need them both.
I say greedy in a modern time where it's like, hey, instead of reinventing how to make this an attainable and self-sustainable kind of thing, we want to stick to owning these artists. Right. And picking who this artist works with.
I think that goes back to what they're doing and how they're doing it isn't fucked up. It's why they're doing it.
Sure.
That, the intent behind it, right?
Sure.
Because if you tell me they had the right intent where they're like, hey, we're going to, own all of you because the Wild Wild West doesn't work when you all have different laws, but we're going to come up with fair laws that apply to all of you.
Yeah.
And we're still going to let people into this city or community that belong here, not just that are chosen to be here. And if they would have gone about it the right way, then maybe these laws actually offer even more opportunity because it's like almost an even playing field versus, but that's not the route they took, right?
That's not been the route, yeah.
This is where we're at. It's a lot of the negatives of music. What do you love about the music industry?
I love about the music industry that it's exactly what it sounds like. It gives people who have a certain love, passion, skill set for an art to make it into a real life career, job, dream, whatever it is. The music industry in definition suggests that, hey, this is something that I can apply to. Right, this is something that I can train for. This is something I can break into.
It's almost a sport that you can get good at.
It is a sport. It is a sport. And just like anything else, you show up completely unprepared and you start learning and you say, this might be for me, this might not be. And it's very ugly when you open that door and you say, oh shit, this is the way it goes.
Or sometimes you open it and you get turned on by the ugliness. You're like,
I love
this is exactly where I fucking belong,
Hey, rare, but it happens.
I'm going to transition to you, because you're a wonderful human, and we'll wrap up with this. I have 3 you questions. So first one is favorite book.
That's a tough one. I've read a few in the last couple of years.
That's the only time I've read a few.
Really?
I wasn't a reader when I was young. Fucking kidding me?
Really?
I used to go to the actual library to find the little yellow Cliff Book notes so that I could write the report. You know what I mean? Like I was not reading books. Now I have a whole damn bookshelf that I go through.
I'm going to give you a real one just because, especially lately, we're rocking with the Bible pretty heavy.
Damn, that's crazy. Second time I get that answer.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
And
first one was on a different different pod, but.
And I've read like this last year or two, I've been a little bit more heavy on it, and it's cool, man. Every few years the Bible makes a new run in my life. You pick it up and.
I'm religious naturally, Catholic school. My whole life, middle school, high school, etc. Studied the Bible, obviously.
You did?
In school, right? Theology, etc.
No wonder.
No wonder you're a man of Christ. Never read it as like a reading material. It's always been a textbook for me.
Like to study in class, and theology
I had to
and
read,
stuff. Yeah, of course.
Chapter or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's something that's on my to-do list. It's been on my to-do list for this year, but this year's been a little hectic.
My recommendation: don't approach it like a book.
No,
like
absolutely not.
Page 1 vibes.
No, it's parables.
Literally hit the random open and just start reading, bro, and see. And you'd be surprised how often you're like, oh, this is cool. And then eventually you're like, okay, I read this one a few times, and then you start getting more and stuff. We won't get too deep on that, but that's the honest truth.
Favorite book, Bible. Fantastic. This next question's for me. I don't give a fuck. You just gave me a weird smile, and that's not what this is. It's not for me like that.
Okay.
But it's for me in the sense that I'm a big believer that throughout life, I mean, you have kids.
Yeah.
Seeing them at that age, you want to use the word pure, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a child doesn't know any better.
Sure.
We've heard that a million times in our lives, but let's just be honest. When you were insert age here, you didn't know shit. In a bad way, in the sense that you didn't know shit, but also in a good way where like anything's possible, right? I've had guests that were like, yeah, I really thought I was going to be an astronaut.
Yeah.
and you dress up in the astronaut suit and
It's going down,
you
yeah.
were in fucking Mars in your head, and like not like make believe, like you were at fucking Mars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like to ask our guest, and I say selfishly for me, but I mean for us, not for the listener. They already turned off by now. They don't care about the fucking childhood
It's too
story.
late in the story.
But do you often think of childhood moments of your own? In the sense of like you do something today and you're like, damn, I this just reminded me of this when I was 7, and this is why I like doing what I'm doing.
Unrelated to our
Completely unrelated.
Unrelated to our conversation.
Absolutely not. I've gone down the yellow brick road here with these. You know what do you? I just said, what do you think about? What's your favorite childhood moment? What is something you just thought about that made you smile? Because there's no way you're gonna think of a childhood moment and not smile.
I used to post up in the attic heavy.
My mom's attic was my room.
You did for real?
At some point, yeah.
But like the creepy pull down attic?
Yeah. No AC.
I used to, man. The attic started as a scary thing, you know? Like,
yeah.
What the fuck is that? The creepy shit.
Facts.
Then it was like, yo, the Christmas stuff is up there.
Right.
And then it was like, yo, what if I chill up there a little bit? Hold on, there's a light. There's this. And then, yeah, bro. I used to hide up there. I used to put the thing. And, they're looking for you. That was when, yeah, man. And still, when I go, my grandma still lives in that same house that I grew up in. And when I go there still, bro, I look at the attic.
When I go there, I have a full recording studio in the attic now.
Yeah, right?
I just go up there.
That was, hey, I had all sorts. I was like, what if I make this into a little clubhouse?
Facts.
I was never allowed to take friends up there.
No.
My family was, they were like, well, they're going to fuck themselves up. No chance.
I don't know about how your attic was. So my parents' house has 2 attics. One is the super creepy, like you gotta go up there maybe with a hammer because there might be a rat or something, like it's scary. Then the other one was like built with that room that was built modern.
Oh, no.
So it's got the tremendo floor.
Mine was just the beams and the fucking wood and insulation and shit.
Insulation
Fiberglass.
everywhere. You're scratching.
Yeah, scratching like a bitch.
Okay, so I had said a story in a previous thing. I used to spend a lot of time under my bed. It's journaling, right? But
Comic book vibes or like
I had
what?
a sister, so I had a diary, whatever.
Okay.
I used to write, a journal a lot.
Okay.
Under the bed. And it was kind of like my safe space. It was almost like, no one can bother me here. It was my office.
Okay.
In my head.
Yeah.
And then as I graduated, my mom's attic, the nicer one with the light, and like I wasn't scared that I was gonna catch rabies if something bit me, like
splinters and fiberglass and shit.
Yeah. Then my mom's attic became my new under the bed.
Okay.
Where I would go over there to be in my office, like leave me the fuck alone.
Still private. I don't have to worry.
Somewhere private. I'm gonna write about my 3rd grade crush or whatever the hell back then it was. And so I to me it's just. I ask this question randomly when I go out with my dogs, like, yo, when was the last time you thought about when you were 7? Because I think it's so important. Our moral compass when we were children got us
what we wanted and what we were into. Yeah, for sure.
You really liked a game on N64. Yeah. Bro, you were a fucking stud at that game a year later.
Nasty.
It wasn't GoldenEye with the golden gun. Like, bro, don't come over. We're not going to be friends.
Dog.
If you come over, we're going to get into a fight. Don't do that. Blitz?
Yeah.
Bro, I lost homies over Blitz.
They got to bring back Blitz.
They should.
Blitz was nuts.
The only game I really sucked at, and I honestly lost friends for real. They stopped inviting me. Remember Halo parties?
Yeah.
I got no
When we
invites.
connected the Xboxes?
No. Like, this is like before internet for me.
Yeah, we had to connect the physical Xboxes and multiple TVs
in the same room
to play.
Not like we're playing from our house. No, yeah.
LAN cable.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, dog, that was the first time in my life where I got left out of things. He's gonna ruin the whole game.
I'm sorry, Brian. Sorry.
And so now, like, even these type of things are practical. I never a day in my life played what's the Call of Duty?
Really?
Yeah, why? Because I assumed since I was so terrible at
you
Halo,
suck at first person
I don't
shooters.
even want to fucking even look at that.
What about FIFA? Are you a FIFA guy?
Not a FIFA guy, but I can't imagine I'd be terrible at it. Like, you'd invite me over.
You will be terrible at FIFA. You will be terrible at FIFA.
Yeah. But it's like
FIFA's
like
very
Madden.
humbling.
Yeah, but it's like kind of like Madden.
You think it's Madden, and then you play and you're like, oh shit,
it's FIFA.
This is the most realistic sports game that's ever existed.
Because you're running without the ball.
You play FIFA, Paul? All right, so you know.
Do you run without the ball there? Is that why? Because that's hard to fucking do.
It's not that you run without the ball. It's that it's the most, I can't explain. It's like the most realistic movement, everything. It's hard as fuck, bro.
Like,
you finally get a free shot on FIFA and you go to shoot it, you shoot it into the stands.
In the 3rd row.
And you're like, oh shit. You know, it's
That
fucking hard.
I think that correlates to when Madden came out with the hit stick. That made the game a lot harder because you wanted that hit stick, and then you're just fucking missing, tackles in the 50
Some
yard line.
people wouldn't care about scoring; they just care about fucking you up with that hit.
Woo! You get the rumble pack on that bitch. You're like, what? You're fucking ready. All right, so last question, and then we'll wrap it up. Why? And I asked everybody the same question. Why are you in the journey called business? At the end of the day, the music industry, as an artist, as a record label, even more, you're a business. You're a self-sustaining business. So you, my friend, are an entrepreneur that has chosen a more artistic path. Why? Every day we wake up, we know we're gonna get kicked in the mouth, right? We know it's like, everybody has a plan till they get punched in the face. No, we know the plan is to get punched in the face.
We're gonna get punched.
Why the fuck do people sign up for this?
Is that we don't have to explain to anybody why we got punched. You know?
Okay.
I think we like to make our own rules. I think that anybody that says, hey, I want to go into this business or I want to be an entrepreneur. Sure, there are some people that grow up watching somebody and say, that's what I want to do. I want to be a business owner.
Right.
But usually what happens is people like us try our best to adapt to these things and very quickly realize there's no fucking chance I'm listening to this guy tell me what to do all day. I'd rather be broke and figure it out.
I had 2 jobs my whole life. Foot Action and Express.
You know what I mean?
3 months each.
I'd rather figure it out, because I know I can't do that.
Yeah.
Right? And then the product of that ends up being, of course, us eating hella shit. And when I say us, I say anybody that's tried to take this purpose, unless you happen to have a very lucky.
And not eating shit as in the sense of like passing time. Eating shit as in like shit's being thrown at you and you're eating.
You're eating it. And you have nothing to eat, so you're eating fucking ramen and you're fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like your boys are doing shit and
sleeping
you're
in the studio because you can't go home because
100%. So I think, as poetic as I'd like to be and say, hey, there's this everlasting fucking desire to just, change the world. Sure, but the real thing is that I think, at least for me and a lot of people I know, we quickly realize maybe we can't conform to these things. And if we can't conform to these things, we either have to scrape by or we have to do something very great.
Yeah.
Right? There's really no
there's no in between.
There's no gray area of entrepreneurship. There's struggle. There's landing short and saying, hey, this is what I do. I landed on my little business. I pay my bills. Or there's, damn, I didn't avoid all this stuff to do that. I need to do something really good.
Right.
And then in that sauce and your inability to adapt, you say, fuck, I need more. I need more. I'm already here. I need more, And it's a beautiful thing because nobody there to answer to or limit you,
I didn't do this at all until this year. And I think it's so important. I mean, the cliche, reflect on how far you've come and this and that. But like in a very non-cliche way, put yourself in day one.
Remember,
like right now, mental space.
Go back to that clip of the episode. We said it.
You're
too far to go back.
I'm in my sister's room sending those first invoices. And I'm asking my dad, how does an invoice look?
But you got a fucking invoice.
And you had the fake invoice number because you can't send 001. What? So you got to have 2007. And that's the first invoice, you know what I mean? But you don't even know how the sequence
You get it
works,
back, it doesn't work internally at all. There's no reference for that number. Yeah. It's just,
My first invoices all had the same invoice number.
Oh, you're cooked.
So I would start getting checks.
And then you send the same one to the same person. And then in their system, they're like, wait a minute.
No, it doesn't read. I was getting emails back 3 months in like, hey, we already paid an invoice out with this number. Can you send us any other number?
Yeah, no, my bad. I don't know what I'm doing
yet. Like any other number? Sure. 2009, here you go. And she's like, damn, you've had 2 invoices in the last 3 months? Like, nah, I haven't used 2008 yet. Everybody been getting 2007. What do you want me to do? The fuck? Little things like that, like really think about.
Yeah, but do you miss shit like that, bro?
No.
No?
I know why you're asking, and the answer is yes to the way you're asking.
Yeah, I got what you mean.
But no, in how
it made you feel and shit.
Not even how it made, yes, but like how it made me feel in front of others, right? Because I don't care about feeling like a loser. But what I don't like is looking like a loser. You know what I'm saying? I love the unknown and learning and trying and creating, not music, not art, not, but creating a business plan, a strategy.
in those times, other than the hit to the ego, it's not like a real L. It's not like you've already built the thing and now you lost it.
Right.
You're trying to get there and you want it to work, and then you take a little pride hit and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, and every once in a while you go too far in one way. Like, oh shit, maybe I should have a partner that knows about invoicing.
I should download the invoice template off of Google. Damn it.
Accounting 101. I took it 4 times in FIU. I should have listened at least once. So yeah, I think the looking back and not reflecting but just like put yourself in those shoes you wore day one. And like some of the clothes I wore 15 years ago, I still have at my mom's house.
Yeah.
And that's something else I do. Not 25 years ago. That I do have in sealed bags because I want to show my kids what we used to look like.
The other day I pulled out a puffy Rockwell jacket.
Holy shit.
My boy, I'm going to stunt that one day.
Yes.
It's this big. And it just has the huge Rockwell on the back.
Michelin,
red, bright
Michelin
red.
man.
Bang. Oh, man, what a fucking smoker.
I have every Epic shorts, every color.
You have the Epic shorts?
Dark yellow, the gang.
I'm waiting for
blue.
somebody to bring out the OG Dada shoes.
Oof.
The Dadas. I'm talking to you. I know you got them. Dada.
Chillin Williams, thank you so much for your time.
Man,
I know you gotta
guys.
go. You probably had to go a few minutes ago. I don't know what time it is.
It's all good.
Plug yourself up. How do people find you? And how should they connect with you?
Most importantly, House of Humans, HUEMANS, House of Humans, Chillin Williams. You can find that on Instagram,
That's
Spotify.
a sick fucking, like you don't have any numbers or DJ or anything in front of it.
Chillin Williams and House of
there?
Humans. Yeah.
Wow, that's a fire.
I know.
I want to say URL, but it's not URL.
I've always been very good at that.
Favorite
I've
handle.
always been very good at giving people the one-off names that are not taken and shit.
All right, cool. And you said demo, you gave the House of Humans, but is there an email that they should...
There's an email, the House of, because that one somehow somebody did have. Don't ask me how.
It was me.
It was you.
Yo.
He's like, I'm waiting a few more years and I'm going to charge you 5 bands.
For this moment,
5
dude.
bands for the email.
Shit.
The House of Humans, HUEMANS at gmail.com. You can send SoundCloud links there.
Awesome.
Or TrackStack, which is more popular now.
Key takeaway that I'm going to use for sure moving forward in my own life. And basically, Chillin Williams, it's right there.
It's right there.
It's right fucking there. You'll never get there if you don't take the first step. Don't expect your first step to be your last step. And just make sure that the step counts. So Thank you so much for your time, bro. Go make a banger right now in the studio. I know that's where you're heading. And I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Absolutely.